Well, I'm really happy to be here with you, Dr. Suhas, again. And you're a great part of the summit. And you have your new book, which is come out. It's coming out backwards, but it's Change Your Schedule, Change Your Life. So we're going to talk about that because I know schedule is a big problem for everybody. People are usually trying to manage their schedule and not doing it such a great job of it to balance their health at the same time. So thanks for being with me, and tell me a little bit more about the book and what sort of inspired it.
Well, thank you, Yogi. It's always a joy to be with you, and especially sharing about this new book, Change Your Schedule, Change Your Life. And as you know, I'm a clinician and I see lots of people in my practice. And one of the things that I was noticing lately is that these busy schedules are overtaking their life. And so the advent of fast-paced life, internet, social media, and smartphones, the boundaries of work and life and personal life has become invisible. So you're working kind of all the time. So you're working close to bedtime, you start your day looking at your cell phone. And so people are getting a little bit more disconnected with their full-time job, which is not doing their day-to-day living and earning money, but taking good care of themselves. So I think when we are prioritizing other things over our health, we slowly start disrupting. And this is the very premise of Ayurveda and the Ayurvedic medicine, because it's a consciousness-based approach to health and well-being. And when you're not able to do something which is good for you, then slowly the things are going to fall apart. And then these repercussions that we see, whether it's inflammations or cancers or obesity or metabolic syndrome, these are the aftermath of that. So I wanted to go to the root cause from where this is coming. And I was able to connect down to these disruptions in their circadian rhythm, which I think Ayurveda is the only medical science that has talked about this, to how to sync with the seasonal routine and the daily routine and the nocturnal routines and the planetary cycles, and how to respect and understand the cycles, even the phases of life that you talk about, the Vata phase of life, the Pitta, the Kapha phase of life. So I think it's very fascinating to blend this very ancient wisdom of Ayurveda with the cutting edge science that we have now.
So do you think it's what's happening is people are just getting addicted to a new type of, distraction, let's say? So
I think if you look at the idea, about 10 years ago, means 2004, there was no Facebook. 2005, 6, no Twitter, no YouTube. Up to that time, okay? 2007 was the first time that even Apple launched its first smartphone. So we're talking about 10 years ago, our life was completely different. We were all happy with 56K modem. And this has completely hijacked us, not only us as working individuals, but even our kids. And everybody is hooked onto their cell phones. I call this as non-communicable diseases, and these are cancers, overweight, obesity, things like that. But this is lack of communication with others. You're just communicating with so-called your virtual community and your cell phones, and not paying attention to what is happening in front of you, talking to people on the dinner table itself. And when you are living into that kind of a so-called virtual reality, and it puts extra pressure. I mean, someone sends you a text and you have to respond immediately. It's how rude it is for you not to respond to that. And it is as if that anybody can barge into whatever we are doing at any time. And I think the nervous system is taking and feeling the pressure of all this. And when it comes from work, when it comes from a variety of different things, we kind of oscillate between the waves of emotion, feeling stressed out, anxious, worry, angry, hurt, guilt, sad, depressed, all of that. And this can all happen in a given day.
So schedule and managing the schedule is key to health then.
I think it's very important because I think Ayurveda has been talking about the 24 hours of circadian rhythm, but more so than that, there are some very specific cycles that happen even within a given day about the time to eat. The time to eat, eating the right food at the right time. In Ayurveda, if you remember, we use a term called Vegas. Vegas are the urges. Okay, so you can't mimic those urges. When you have to meet and greet the wave when it is happening, like when you're hungry, that is the time that the body is telling it has created a conducive atmosphere to optimize your digestion. But if you're busy in a meeting, then that wave comes and goes. All those juices which are coming out are reabsorbed and they're gone. And when you have time to eat, the juices may not be there. So the food stays there much longer without getting digested. So if you're prioritizing other tasks over eating, and there was a research not long ago came out where many Americans, in fact, went for a snack when they were actually thirsty. So when we get disconnected, we can't even differentiate between thirst and hunger sometimes. And so I think it's going back and being mindful about the timing of exercise, timing of sleep. That is a big one, because I think we are painfully realizing, and Ayurveda is a science which has talked volumes beautifully about how important sleep is. Because the quality of the sleep, and I don't want to bombard you and everyone with the actual quotation, but this is so poetic. This is so beautiful. Nidrayattam sukham dukkham pushti karsha balabalam vrushata klibata jnanam ajnanam jivitam nacha. So there are 10 polarities of these opposite. Sukha or dukkha, happiness or unhappiness, vrushata klibata, whether you feel potent or you feel weak, whether you feel strong or you feel weak. Even life and death can be dependent upon a good quality sleep. And it was considered to be as a waste of time. But we now know that sleep is something which is the reset button. It is the most potent anti-inflammatory activity that you will do. It is the activity that the brain gets its rest from. It rejuvenates itself during sleep itself. And so whatever you do in order to help you prepare for a good night's sleep is something very important. And we talk about these two sattvic times, when the night is ending and the sun is coming out. It's a very sattvic time that you have to do something for yourself, whether you do a little bit of stretches, some physical movement, exercise, oil massage, meditation. And the evening time, right when the sunlight or sun is setting and the night is setting in, is also a very important time to prepare and regroup yourself for a good night quality sleep. We often say that a good day begins the night before. So diet, exercise, and sleep, these are the pillars that Ayurveda has talked about for health. And somehow we are not able to schedule this properly because of our busy schedules.
So is it a case of making it important?
I think it is very important, because you need to really understand the value that, yes, the research now says it's not what you eat, when you eat is important.
Yeah, I think that's a huge one, because we spend so much time about what to eat, and everybody just continuously talks about, everything, omega-3s, this, that, calories, fat. Yes, it absolutely has something to do with it, but timing of eating.
Because 71% of the country eat their biggest meal after 5 o'clock in the evening.
Yes.
Okay? So most of the calories are consumed after 5 o'clock. And what Ayurveda says is eat your calories between sunrise to sunset. So you should be done eating by 7 o'clock, and then you'll have 3 hours to completely digest the food before you go to sleep, because when you sleep, it shuts down. And the metabolic rate and the digestion is at a crawl. So everything shuts down and the food stays there without being digested. So eat late to gain some weight, sleep late to gain some weight. And there's a lot of science and research about it. So this could be a news for some people, but this is exactly what Ayurveda has been talking about for many years. So eating a lighter dinner is a very important lifestyle change that one has to make in order to reset the schedule. Another important one is to start your day with some brisk, vigorous exercise in the morning. So before breakfast, if you can engage into 15, 20, 30 minutes of brisk exercise, whether you go for a brisk walk, a light walk, or a jog, or do something vigorous before you start the day, then you awaken the digestive system and you are ready for a good, lighter breakfast, and you won't need a lot of caffeine to get things going at that time.
So you've created the hunger for food rather than just eating out of habit.
That's correct. And you won't need the need of caffeine at that time to get going, because you'll be the wide awake person. So I tell this to so many of my patients. You wake up around 6:30 in the morning, you do some brisk cardiovascular exercise, you do your oil massage, hot shower, have your steel cut oatmeal, and by the time you walk in your office, you're the widest awake person in the office. Your mind is focused. And we know this from the circadian rhythm that from 8:39 to 12:30 in the morning is the most productive creative time that you want to use at that time. So we know that the brain is really awake and functioning. And if you wake up around 8 o'clock and during the kapha time of the day, you are feeling dull, heavy, groggy, toxic, tired. And we know from circadian rhythm that there's more cortisol release that happens around that time, where the blood is very sticky and the body feels a little bit puffy and swollen. If you can't just shed that heaviness that is accumulated due to sleep by vigorous exercise, you're going to feel the lingering effect till 11:30 or 12 in the day, and you don't want to eat anything. You will eat a light snack, and then you'll be ravenously hungry at 3 or 4 o'clock at odd times, and it kind of disrupts everything. So when we say scheduling health, it's just resetting one thing and everything else is going to start falling in the right place.
Well, that's a lot about the health. What about the work schedule? Because that one's a big problem.
I think that is important, because as I said, that if you're working from say 8:30 to 12:30 and you get your creative part done, whether it's new planning, calculation, analysis, meeting, talking to clients, envisioning your project, deadlines, organizing your life and things like that. And after lunch, you get through the mundane activity where you're responding to the mails, you're getting certain things done and hands-on activity, because after lunch, it's going to be a little bit of a more of a vata phase till 4:30 or 5 o'clock. So I think there's a productive creative time in the first part of the day, and the other part which is of that kind. And then again, end your day with some vigorous movement, maybe some gentle walk, yoga stretches, breathing exercise, because 5 o'clock or 5:30, your body is really awake, the joints, muscles, it's performing at a high cardiovascular efficiency. So you want to really challenge your body to get some physical activity done so that you're ready for the dinner. You eat a lighter dinner around 6:30 or 7, and then slowly prepare yourself for a good evening as such. And one of the things that I talked in the book was about the blue light that we are exposing ourselves. That actually confuses our brain to think that it's still daylight, because when we're looking at the glaring screens, then with it, it's still day, and the body doesn't secrete the melatonin, and so it kind of delays everything thereafter. And there are millions of different functions which are going in cycles throughout the night. And one little disruption that you're keeping yourself awake and hungry around 11:30 or 12 or eating can disrupt every other function as such. So I think going back to understanding and boosting your productivity and organizing, and as I said, health is your full-time priority, because I see quite a few people, they are eating bad foods, they're coming back and reaching out for their alcohol or unhealthy addictions or food cravings and things. And the root cause of that is how your body feels and what is making you unhappy. So the crux of the issue is, if you're feeling good, if the channels are open, if the prana is flowing, you're feeling bright, energetic, you can actually manifest a lot of positive things in your life. One of the things that I said in Hot Belly Diet was rekindle your fire, rekindle your life. And that's exactly what we are trying to talk about here, where you want to really understand what is most important, how to prioritize, how to value your relationship, your social time, your time with yourself. Because that is something that we have forgotten, how to be with your own self as such, with your own thought process, with your own meditation, with you generating positive, pure intentions about yourself and your life is very, very important. And I think it's time to schedule your health over your work.
Yes. Well, I think there's so much dissatisfaction in people these days because they're not as healthy, they're not doing the work they love. But I love what you say about, use Ayurvedic timing, and because it's in the morning, do your creative work, and the sun is rising, the energy is rising, get your creative work done, and then do your mundane work in the afternoon, because maybe you don't need as much energy to do that.
That's correct.
So that, I think, is really useful to people, because sometimes people don't understand. They get sleepy in the afternoon and they wonder why, and they don't know what to do about it.
Yeah, and as I said, that if you're eating enough foods during the midday lunch, then you are able to digest that, because you're still active till another 4, 5, 6, 7 hours. And that's not the case when you eat the food around 7:38 or 9 in the evening, because you're not going to be awake for past midnight as such. when you're working and thinking and trying to do a lot of creative work and sending your emails and do at 8:30, 9, 10 in the night, then the body is exhausted and the mind is kind of swirling about work, and that doesn't allow you to fall asleep and stay asleep properly. So I think one of the challenge, and you would agree with this, is this whole epidemic of our the way we spend our weekends, and that is also another important thing. By the way, the book comes out today. Change Your Schedule, Change Your Life. It's on Amazon. You should get that. And what we're discussing about is the social jet lag. It's people behave somehow Monday to Friday with work and everything, but come Friday they have a license to stay up late and eat late and party late in the evening. And since they have been doing that for Friday night, then they wake up very late on Saturday morning. And since they wake up Saturday morning very late, then it's no breakfast, it's just brunch. And then around that time when they're eating late brunch, then it goes to late kind of evening snack, and then again Saturday night party where you are staying awake, and you don't get reservations anywhere in the country on Friday, Saturday, Sunday evening, because that's when people want to go out and eat. But the downside of this is when it comes back to Sunday, you have to again wake up and start your everything at 6 o'clock in the morning to start your schedule. So it's almost as if you're taken a weekend trip to New York and have 3 to 4 hours of jet lag that is into your system because you were abusing your body on the weekend on Friday, Saturday, Sunday. And then it's going to take 3, 4, 5 days to reset everything: bowel movement, hunger, thirst, energy level, everything. And by the time you reset that, it's another Friday and you do it all over again. So I think that's a huge challenge that I see in my practice quite a bit now.
So you would say it's more about scheduling everything, not cutting everything out. Because I think one of the biggest fears, I mean, we would ideally like to see people cut a lot of different things out of their life, but it's not the reality. People are just not ready for it. So I think what you're saying and what you're teaching is reschedule everything so you don't have to do without a lot of everything. But if you reschedule it, you can still have it, so you can eat your dinner at, much earlier at 5 o'clock, like we do. And then you go to bed and you feel great and you're investing in the next day and you're preparing for the next day.
And I'm not coming up with this theme or anything. It's not a rocket science. This is how Mother Nature wants you to live. This is how your cells and tissues, and the birds know it from dawn to dusk. Everybody else around us know it. They respond to the rhythms of sunlight. It's us who is throwing a wrench in the perfect functioning of the body. So I think it's something living in accordance with the laws of nature and syncing your life with what you see outside. The seasons change. The cleanses should be happening around that time. You are effortlessly syncing your everyday with what is happening around you. Even spending time outdoors, forest bathing, interacting with the elements of nature. All of those things are so important, and somehow we get connected and disconnected. And I practice in the Silicon Valley here in the Bay Area, and I see so many people who are trapped into their cubicles 7, 8, 9 hours, and they crazily drive through maddening traffic 1 hour, 1.5 hours in the morning, the same in the evening. They're stuck in their little cubicle with no natural light or anything. And then you're wondering why you're having low energy. You're wondering why you feel so tired. You're feeling why you can't sleep. You are wondering where everything hurts, and you feel as if you're aging quickly. And I think we have to go back and understand where we can reset it. And I have given some very practical solutions in the book to understand how can you change that, how can you add a few things, how can you step out, get some fresh air, time your foods properly, time your exercise properly. All of those things are things where you don't do it for a certain amount of time. And that's also a challenging part about Ayurveda, is that it's not you do it for 30 days and then you have license to do anything. You lose 5 pounds and then you're back to square one. That's not the aim of it. The aim is to be consciously aware what is good for you and slowly living this way, behaving this way, thinking this way, not because you read a book or someone told you to do this, because you feel good by doing it.
Yeah. So you're investing in yourself, and then you're investing in your family, investing in your friends, and you do your work better. You live at a higher standard, basically. Good, beautiful. Well, your book is out. They can find it on your website.
It can be on Amazon, every leading bookstore in the country, they can
Right.
find it. It's Barnes& and Nobles, IndieBound, Amazon, of course.
Right,
You can
beautiful.
also get that. I have some interesting information on my website about some tips about how to change your schedule on drsuhas.com. And I'll be happy to send the signed copies of the books if they go to the website and purchase the books. So
Beautiful.
it's always a joy to be here, and so
Mm.
happy to share this new book that comes out today, Change Your Schedule, Change Your Life. Make sure
Beautiful.
you get
That's
that.
amazing. And the forward is it by our friend Deepak Chopra, which is
Absolutely. I
beautiful
mean,
as well.
Deepak has been a pioneer in this field, and he has a tireless pursuit for over 40 years now, talking about these things. So I think he has definitely paved the way for all of us to actually blend this very ancient wisdom with the latest science. And he wrote something very beautiful in the book, which I'm very happy and so proud for his blessings.
Oh, beautiful. That is a blessing. Good. Well, thanks so much for being with me, and take good care. And I'm telling everybody to buy the book and to follow exactly what you're teaching, because it's what everybody needs.
Thank you, Yogi.
All right.
All the
Take
best.
good care. Namaste.